Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the damn sofa. That's the sofa and my name's Paul, and you might be looking for our shady little sidekick who's usually sleeping over there or in my arms, but he is still on the sofa taking a shady sidekick nap. I came home from work today, fell asleep in the chair with him, and I mean, we were knocked out. And so he's still over there, and I was like, he doesn't want to be a TV star dog right now. So anyways, but he is around, he is good, he is here in spirit. He's just in the other room snoring like a little chihuahua. Anyways, I hope the Sofa Squad's doing well. Now, as I say in these new videos on this other channel that I'm doing, if you're watching this, you're probably watching like a podcast channel or whatever. So just make sure you're subscribed to it. The videos that I'm putting over here are like more short opinion, live chats, those kind of things. And I'm trying to keep the main channel like for the deeper dives into things and story times and that kind of thing. So just longer videos. So just make sure you're subbed to both of them. I would appreciate it. Don't forget to interact, whether it's liking, disliking, commenting, sharing, whatever, to keep you on the Sofa Squad algorithm. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today, I got my little computer here. Let me slide it on over because I am going to be referring to some sofa notes. Y'all, this case. I mean, I'm sitting here reading back over it just to read you a couple of lines or whatever as the reminder of it, and it still just gives me goosebumps. I mean, it just rocked us. So what I'm talking about is the case of Cortney Bell and Christopher McNabb and baby Kalaya. And I'm going to read this just so I have the dates right or whatever. So she was born prematurely on September 23rd, 2017. She weighed 5 pounds at birth, bless her little heart. So then Saturday morning, October 7th, so y'all, a couple of weeks later, okay, of that. Cortney Bell frantically calls Newton County 911 to report that her 2-week-old daughter had gone missing. One day later, October 8th, they find her remains. Her and her boyfriend, Christopher McNabb, were apprehended in this, sent to trial, convicted, all this stuff. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about is Cortney Bell's conviction being overturned. I did a post on it and got a lot of your reactions and whatnot. And so I want to say a couple of things real quick first. A lot of you are asking me to like do something on this case. I've already done like a big deep dive video on it, and I'm going to put the link to it in the description, or yeah, the description. Also, there's another channel recently, Kimberly Flowers, who did another deep dive in it. She actually called us out here at the Sofa Squad. We were feeling pretty special over that. But she also, in hers, like she had like even more information that I hadn't heard of. It didn't help their case though, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like any new information that comes out about this, I'm just like, what? This is, I mean, yeah. This is a heartbreaking case because literally this was a tiny, tiny little baby that did not stand a chance against these two, okay? So then on top of it, the trial, Christopher McNabb is just, he's a horrible person, right? He did stuff in this trial, y'all, that is utterly insane. His sentencing went viral. Okay, look it up, Christopher McNabb's sentencing. It will be all over the place. It went viral. The things, I mean, he's a terrible human being, a terrible human being, and he is absolutely where he belongs. So what I want to do is talk a little bit, and I'm going to be referencing this article here. I'll post the article down below. It's by 11 Alive, and let's see who it doesn't say who wrote this. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due. Let's see, I'm not seeing an author, but it is on 11 Alive, and I will post the oh no, here it is. Joe Hinkie. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So let's just read very quickly about what this says here, and we'll kind of talk about it. So the state appeals court reversed a M conviction of a Georgia mother. We know it's Cortney Bell. Let's go down a little bit here. I thought we were at the right spot. No. So where is it on here? Okay, here it goes. However, on Friday, the Court of Appeals of Georgia reversed the M and second-degree child cruelty convictions against her when it issued an opinion detailing how the evidence was insufficient. We'll talk about that in a second. Now it says the appeals court affirmed a felony conviction against Bell, though, for the charge of contributing to the dependency of a minor, meaning the court found there was sufficient evidence to show either neglect or abuse. Now at the time of this recording and the time of this article, which was yesterday, like the district attorney, they're re-looking over it, you know, to see, do we want to, would what do we want to do with this, right? Because the ball's in their court, they can appeal this. But then in here, this is what they say. We went to trial on those charges because we believe there is sufficient evidence to prove those charges. I obviously respect the Court of Appeals and their decision. It says second degree M has only been around since 2014, so there isn't a ton of case law about that. That is one of the considerations I have to take into account as well. Okay, so then it goes down a little bit later. They're talking about, you know, the little, what I just told you about the case and all that kind of stuff. So here is, let's read this part right here. So it's talking about McNabb. According to his arrest warrant, McNabb did strike the victim with an unknown object. This action to cut. I mean, this part is just. I'm reading what they're saying about this, and according to the arrest warrants, McNabb, Christopher, did strike the victim with an unknown object. It caused the skull to be seriously disfigured and damaged beyond repair. I mean, yeah, this poor little baby girl. I mean, this is the stuff you read about this. It's just, it's terrible. Anyways, so months later, Bell was arrested and charged the case. So that's right, Cortney, and I'm kind of refreshing my memory with this as I go now. She was arrested later. It says January 1st, 2018. So he, on October 11th, 2017, was taken in, right? So it says when she was sentenced, she acknowledged that her use of a certain substance was a sickness and stated, I tried to be a good mama. I love my babies. However, her statement was countered by Judge Ott, who said you chose a certain substance and McNabb over a baby. Okay. Now again, if you haven't looked at this, going and looking at her sentencing also, which I mean they're basically back to back, watch the trial from start to finish first of all. Okay, you'll rip through it if you haven't watched it, and I don't mean to like break it down like that and make it sound like, oh, well, you know, cool. But it's a very interesting trial. It's a very heartbreaking trial. And you kind of see how, like I said, this baby didn't stand a chance, bless her heart. So one thing that was interesting in this is, and a lot of people are like, you know, asking what my thoughts are and all this kind of stuff. So here's where I stand with this one, right? 100% I have always been like, Christopher McNabb is absolutely 100% guilty. He is a monster. He is where he belongs. Now, where I get with Cortney, because yes, I've always felt like she is guilty as well. Where I get with her is this, because I very much believe what the judge said to her. And that's why I'm saying if you haven't watched it, or go refresh your memory, watch it again, whatever. So, and I'm going to read this part right here because it says this. And I'll say this before that. In the sentencing thing, she gets all upset and she's basically saying like, you know, I didn't do this, I ain't do this, was her words. And I believe that she believes that, right? I do not believe that she could understand why she was getting charged with these kind of things. It was almost like this abstract concept thing to her. It doesn't matter, the child is still not here. And regardless of her physical hands were in that, which I do not think she physically had something to do with the child. I do not think that she is what, you know, I believe that he acted alone in doing that. I don't know if she knew and helped cover it up. I don't know. I haven't decided about that yet. We'll get back to that in a second. Let me finish reading here what the judge was saying to her though. Okay, so let's see here. She acknowledged that. Yep. Okay, so the judge explains, the argument from the state wasn't that Miss Bell caused injuries herself, but just that her negligence and neglect is what led to those injuries. So, and I'm sorry, that wasn't the judge there. That was like the DA or whoever that said that part. In the Court of Appeals, the argument is that there needs to be something more than just negligence, noting that kind of the way I read their opinion the first 2 times I read through it, that isn't enough to show being a party to a crime. And so there's that. And so essentially that's what they were saying. And in the sentencing, the judge said something like that to her, and I think he made an analogy of essentially saying you allowed a snake into, you know, your family, or something to the effect of you want your children to experience nature, so you allowed snakes to come in or put them out with the snakes or something like that. It was a very good analogy, and it 100%, you know, was like right on point, because she's essentially trying to say she wanted to do the family thing and all this, and you just listen to their lifestyle and you're like, what what are you talking about? I mean, this is just, the children were the last concern in this household, right? For both of them, right? And so that's where this gets a little bit tricky, because I do believe that she kept allowing Christopher McNabb to come back in. I mean, he's sitting here getting with her mother. I mean, just tawdry stuff, y'all. And she kept allowing this guy to come back in. Clearly, and I'm not trying to say that it was all him or whatever, because it takes two to tango. And what I mean by that is in the lifestyle. So, and again, to clarify, I'm not saying that, oh, simply because she allowed him back in their life that everything went to pot, right? She was doing her own dirty work just as much as what I'm getting at in that. So I can see where legally they were like, if this is what they're saying, that, oh, there has to be something more than just neglect to count for the second degree, then I'm like, okay, well, yeah, because I mean, they really didn't go with that direction in court, right? I mean, they would have to bring these charges back up. Now, I can't remember, but I felt like her sentence, I mean, like, Christopher McNabb is like done, right? Hers was like, oh, if you do well in there, you can get back out. I mean, she was gonna go home, you know what I'm saying? She had to go home date. So for what it was, I felt like she got a pretty sweet deal, to be honest. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, oh, you should have been good with that. So this right here, and honestly, at this point in time, I mean, I don't know how much time she would get for those charges or whatever, but I'm guessing she might be going home soon. Here's my thing, just from what I saw. Do I think she was away long enough to really sink in what was going on? Because if you take out the fact of, did her hands physically have something to do with her baby? Was it neglect? Was it this? Take all that aside. When she was in sentencing and the judge was talking to her and she was crying and she was like, I didn't do this, and she seemingly had no concept how her actions and lack thereof contributed to this situation, I was like, it's going to take her a very long time of being clean, away from substances, that kind of thing, away from Christopher McNabb, to reset. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to truly appreciate what has taken place here and how all these different things contributed to that, right? And so that's where I'm just like, I mean, I'm sorry, but this has only been a few years, you know what I mean? And the level of dysfunction going on with her, I was like, it ain't enough time. God forbid she were to ever get her other daughter back. You know, I mean, it's just, it was not good. It was not good. I mean, the things that went on with this, again, watch my video on it, watch other people's videos on this and get the details of this. I mean, neither of these people were fit to have children or be anywhere near or around them, right? And so I was like, yeah, maybe with some serious help she could rehabilitate herself to getting back to that point. But do I think just a few years is that? No. Do I think, so this is my opinion too, do I think that the what do you call it, the DA will go back after her trip? No, I do not. They would have to really kind of almost completely redo the case, and I'll bet you almost anything they're going to do, like okay, you know, we're going to send you to blank, whether it's time served or you got to serve a little bit more or whatever. Again, I'm not sure what comes with those charges. Clearly, we are going to be following this, because this was just, I'm honestly shocked when I saw this. My mouth hit the ground. The only time that I thought I would hear from these people again was, number one, finding out that Christopher has been, you know, offed in prison. I'm going to Google it after this. Shocked it hasn't happened, right? And then her, I mean, going home in many years, like, you know, I think it was like 15 years or something like that. I mean, she went away for a hot minute, right? So, you know, but again, just the imagery of the stuff that went down, I mean, they're concerned for finding out something, oh, the daughter has been found, but they're going to stop off, you know, and smoke up before they go. I mean, really? You know what I'm saying? That's the hard pill to swallow with this. You know, it's a very hard pill to swallow, to see how far gone she was, they both were, whatever. So there's that. I'm very curious to know what y'all think. I've been reading your comments in my community posts on the other channel about it or whatever, and that's why I wanted to come in here and do this video, because enough people were like talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, the video I did was a while ago, and so it's some of my older stuff, so, you know, I'm a little bit, it's not one of my better works, I don't think, but just check it out. It's one of my older videos, but I think it's like an hour long maybe, or I mean, it's a longer video. So that's it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. As always, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. My heart goes out to this poor little baby girl, and I hope her older sister is somewhere safe. I really do, and I really hope that if Cortney gets out, that someone with their head on their shoulders has her other daughter, and that nothing bad can happen to her. I mean, absolutely. Show love down in the comment section for me, y'all. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to y'all later, alligators.